Hello, my name is Kaylin McCarthy, founder of Mindful Tradition, and I am here today to present you with some Boudoir yoga. So a little bit of self-empowerment, a little bit of self-love, some building of confidence, some tapping into of sexuality in a healthy and open way, and all while being super compassionate and loving with ourselves and acknowledging that if there's any tingling or numbness or painful sensations in the body, to honor those, right? That's your body speaking to you. Always listen to your body over me, right? And yeah, let's go to the mat. That's all I got, right? Just listen to your body. We're gonna have fun. Come on, let's go. So finding a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you today, just being here with it. You can move the fleshy part of the butt out of the way and really wiggle down into those sits bones. We're just going to begin by making some circles with the torso. I love this analogy of like stirring the honey pot, like ooey gooey, sticky, yummy, sweet, right? Just kind of playing with where your center of gravity is, feeling a bit of a stretch in the hips. And then when you're ready, reverse, going the opposite way. Acknowledging it's gonna feel different on each side of the body, depending which way we're moving. And just letting those circles now become smaller, smaller, smaller. So you're right over your center here. Your head to the heart, your heart is over the center of your pelvis. You're lifting tall through the crown of the head. Breathing in deep through the nose, and then on an exhale, melting the shoulders down the back body. Bringing the hands to rest comfortably at the thighs, palms down or palms up. And then allowing the eyes to either soften on the earth in front of you or to close. Turning your awareness and your attentions inward. Breathing deep in and out of the nose. Feeling that cleansing breath. Breathing in what is fresh and new. Breathing out what is no longer serving you. And as you're sitting here, allowing any thoughts to come up to just slip away, promising that you'll tend to whatever it is, whoever it is, when you're available. But this time is for you. I want you to begin to think about a negative thought that you had about your physical body, or about who you are as a person, or how you were, or how you parented. Something that's not positive. And it may be a thought that you've had, or something somebody else said that you're carrying, and maybe you've been carrying it for years. And if you're one of those amazing people that harbors no doubts about yourself, then more power to you. Just be here breathing with us. And as you begin to become aware of these things, imagine that a light, warm summer rain begins to sprinkle over you. And as you do so, these negative associations begin to melt away. Maybe you have so much self-doubt you need a torrential downpour. But whatever it is, whatever you need to rid yourself of these untruths about your being, let them go. Actively, consciously, melt them with your mind, letting them continue on until they find their way down a drain or a gutter, perhaps connecting to a river or stream that brings them out to the ocean. And then you are just left as the rain stops. The warm sun comes out to dry you. You are just left here with the perfection that is your own being. Bask in its radiance. On the next inhale, invite the breath down to the bottom of the belly, feeling it expand out. And then up into the ribs, expanding out. And then all the way up into the torso, feeling the chest and collarbones expand out. And then exhale, bring that breath all the way back down to the bottom of the belly. Using the next inhale to expand the belly and the rib cage and the upper chest, filling this whole torso with a loving light breath. Breathing in the beauty of the world, and on the exhale, breathing out your confidence, your amazing, unique self, back out into the world, all the way down to the bottom of the belly. Continuing with your own breath and your own time, this 3-part Dirga breath. Breathing in the beauty of the world, breathing in self-affirmation and self-love, and breathing your unique power back out into the world for everyone to witness and see. On the next exhale, release this 3-part Dirga breath and take a moment to just be with who you are, checking in. Where are you at now after some meditation and some breath work? And celebrate how far you've come from when you first sat on your mat. On the next inhale, begin to flutter the eyes open, returning back to the space around us, bringing the hand down to the mat and then breathing in deep through the nose, lifting the opposite arm up and overhead, coming in to a side stretch and rolling, coming forward to the other side, breathing in deep. And exhaling, rolling forward and through in these sensuous movements, moving in a way that intrigues even you. Who are you as this being? How do you choose to express yourself with this pose and this time? One more time on each side. Returning back up to a seated position, this time coming into a twist. The hand finds the opposite knee, the other hand back behind you like a bike kickstand, helping you lift tall. And then on an exhale, turning to look over that back shoulder. Breathing in, coming through to center and the other side. Exhaling to fully come into that twist. And look back behind you. Continuing back through center on an inhale to the other side, finding and celebrating your breath by carrying it to your movements. One more time on each side now, finding that flow, sensuous movements, sensual movements. You know what I'm saying. Coming back to center. Now we're going to Extend the legs out right in front of us, like all the way down the length of the mat, sitting up nice and tall. Now this could be a really nice place to put like a folded blanket or a pillow. I have like really short hamstrings and I have a hard time doing forward folds and even sitting up like this. Bring some tension to the back of my legs, but if you're experiencing that, you just put a little something under your tush and that will help you lift forward and straight up easier. But we are going to bring our attention to our feet and we're going to like flex them towards our face and then we're going to point them straight out towards the front of the mat. So inhale to flex up, exhale to point those toes. Continuing with the breath and the movement, knowing that if you're going to do some Boudoir yoga, you're going to point your toes. So beginning to build those muscles, build this awareness, knowing that this exactly has nothing to do with yoga. It's actually something I learned in my daughter's ballet class. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be good for Boudoir. Right? It's all yoga. Everything in life is yoga. Being mindful and cultivating awareness and learning from everything. Once you can do that, you're a yogi. No big deal. All right, we'll do it one more time. Breathing out. And then we're gonna roll onto the side so that we can come onto hands and knees in tabletop pose. So here, the knees are stacked under the hips, hands are stacked under the shoulders. If you experience any sensitivity in your wrists while we're doing this, you can ball up the hands. I like to spin my ring around, my engagement ring around, so that it's on the inside of my wrist and not getting into the mat and creating discomfort. But coming onto fists here, or you can have the palms spread out big like a starfish, nice big print. So one or the other, whichever feels best for you. And then intentionally creating length from the tip of the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head, coming into tabletop pose. And from here on an inhale, we're going to drop the belly down to the ground. We're going to let those shoulder blades come up. And we're going to lift the heart open. Breathing in deep. And then exhale. Pull that belly button up towards the spine. Spine to the sky. And the crown drops down. Inhale. Open up. Receive. Exhale, turn around. Once again, trusting in your breath to set the pace of your flow. And you take those deep, nourishing, loving breaths in through the nose. And exhale your beauty, self-confidence back out into the world. One more time here. Really feeling that pelvis move. Now we're going to walk the hands forward closer towards the front of the mat. And we're going to begin to circle the hips. Now, if this isn't sexy, I don't know what is, right? Moving it and working it. Feel it all. Big circles, small circles, whatever is going to feel good to you. Right, like you're at home, no one's watching you, get it. Oh, and then when you're ready, reverse. Once again, finding that balance. Knowing that you have everything you need to be here now. There's no prerequisite to be you, right? It's just about being in the here and now. Those circles get smaller and smaller. We're going to curl the toes under and just sit back on the heels. Breathing deep in and out of the nose, making sure those pinky toes are curled under, just getting a stretch. Breathing, finding that connection. Ooh, I'm so sorry. And then coming forward onto the hands and tapping at the tops of those feet. We're gonna curl them under for just a second here, and then we're gonna push all the way up to a forward fold. So you can bring that to the top of your mat. Hanging, reaching to those toes. If you don't make it, you can have the hands here, or bend the knees, all gravy. Do whatever feels good to you. We want it to be fun, we want it to be joyful. We want our mats and our time on the mat to be a celebration of who we are. All right. Then inhale, we're going to lift up halfway, so hands on the knees, nice flat back. Other option here, if you'd like to bring a little bit more heat, you can bring those arms straight out behind you. Exhale, back down to the toes. Inhale, we're going to bring the arms out to the side, bend the knees, coming up tall onto the tippy toes to the hip, the fingertips touch overhead. Exhale, come down on the toes, slide the hands down to heart center. Inhale to lift up tall, coming up on the tippy toes, finding all the height you can muster. Exhale, fold all the way down, coming to a forward fold. Seeing if you bent those knees before, maybe a little bit straighter this time. Or if you just barely grazed the top of your toes before, can you bring those fingertips to the middle? Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold all the way forward. Inhale, bring those arms out side to side, bend those knees, rise tall, coming up onto the tippy toes, palms touching overhead. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Big breath and inhale to lift, coming up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, diving all the way down to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the knees or arms extended out side to side. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, one last time, up onto the tippy toes we go, palms touching overhead. Exhale, coming down to the feet, firmly planted, hands in front of the heart. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Beautiful. Inhale, now we're going to bring just the hands up to the sky, this time palms touching, extending your fingertips as far as you can, finding length in the body while the shoulders are relaxed and down the back body. And then inhale, engaging the core, let the hands come to one side, the hips go to the other. Making sure you're staying active here, so we don't want like that slumping, right? We're gonna keep it tight, keep it tight, right up in here, keep that core engaged. And just be here, open the heart up towards the sky a little bit. Inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale to the other side. And asking yourself, what can you love about your body here, right? Like, I'm all kinds of stretched out and sexy and right? Love yourself in this posture. Love what your body can even do. This is amazing. Inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, melting the hands in front of heart center. This time bringing a hand to the belly, a hand to the heart, allowing the eyes to soften or close. And taking 3 deep breaths in and out with the nose. On the next inhale, you can bring your awareness back to the space, back to the room. Standing tall at the top of your mat in mountain pose. So this is just like a full on feeling empowered, feeling your strength, connecting to the earth, feeling rooted and grounded. And it's also just the foundation stone for all of our standing poses in yoga. So it's worth taking the time to set up with intention. You want the feet hip width distance apart. So that literally means that you bring your hands into this and tuck them right into that space in between the feet. You should fit right in there. Beautiful. From there, now distributing your weight evenly between the whole foot pad of the foot. Finding a slight micro bend in the knee, so that spot right before the knees lock. Thighs are engaged, pulling towards each other actively. Pelvis is tipped slightly forward. Tightening up through the core, finding that lift all the way up the spine, through the crown of the head. Shoulders coming forward, up, back, and down. And then extending the hands out side to side, fingertips extended, standing tall. Finding your source of power and knowing how it uniquely manifests in your life. Keeping that connection to the breath in and out of the nose. And then from here on an inhale, lifting the right knee up. And then with grace and love and beauty, taking a big step back, about a leg's length. Making sure your feet are on railroad tracks, so like this, rather than a tightrope. So when the feet are spread out, like my front foot is towards the left edge of my mat, my right foot is closer to the right edge of my mat. It gives us a more solid base because this is a balancing pose. This is the Kripalu version of Warrior One. So you're balancing on the wall of the back foot here. Your front knee is stacked over front ankle. The back leg is extended mostly straight, right? You always want to keep that micro bend. You're dropping down through the pelvis. Hips are squared to the front of the mat. And then lifting tall through the torso. So that same mountain pose torso, finding that lift. Shoulders relaxing down the back body. And then inhaling, lifting those hands up to the sky. Now if you're finding yourself to be wobbly here, finding a focal point on the wall can be helpful. Or you can drop those hands to the ground, drop onto that back knee. And coming into a knee down. So either way here, finding your expression of this pose in a loving, inquisitive way, right? You want it to feel good in your body. Because this idea of sexuality should feel good in your body, right? If you're connected to, like you are like connected to your pelvis, your like energy center, right? And there's a strength in it. You're finding your strength in this pose here. Breathing deep. Taking 3 more breaths here, in and out of the nose. And this last inhale, really arch that back here. Big deep breath in, and then exhale. Bring those hands all the way down to frame that front foot on the mat. Dropping on that back knee here, bringing the top of the foot down to the mat. Front knee over front ankle here still. And then bringing the right hand to the mat and twisting open to the side here. Finding length, beauty, gracefulness, ease. These are my wishes for you, friend. Take deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, bringing that hand down to the ground and then stepping back with that left leg, lowering yourself down to the ground. Forehead and chin to the mat. And then on an inhale, pressing into the pelvis, into the thighs, into the tops of the feet, and lifting up into cobra. Hands are under shoulders, elbows are tucked into the sides of the body. Baby cobra. Exhale. Coming down to the mat. Inhale, once again, press into the pelvis, the thighs, the tops of the feet. And maybe explore pressing into those hands a little bit. Big deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, melting back down to the earth. Curling those toes under, pressing up with the hands. And step, coming all the way back into a child's pose. Arms can be extended out, or you can slide them back, wrap them around your body. Taking a moment here to check in, to thank your body for all that it's doing for you, being consciously aware of the gifts that it is to be you. Take an opportunity here to rock the forehead back and forth, just getting a little massage on the brow. Just a little self-love for you. And then inhale, engage the core, rise up tall, and then slide the hands forward, coming to lay down. Once again. Hands stacked under shoulders, elbows tucked in the side. I just like to wiggle in a little bit. Personal preference, I guess. Forehead or chin to the mat. And then inhale, lift up, pressing into the pelvis, the feet. Lift those hands up. Make sure you're not putting any weight in them yet in this baby cobra. Extending out through the toes. And exhale, melting down to the earth. Inhale once again, pressing into the pelvis, the thighs, the feet. This time pressing into those hands, coming up further into cobra. Making sure it feels nourishing and juicy and loving for you. Big deep breath in and exhale, melt all the way back down. This time pressing into the hands, coming onto hands and knees. And then stepping up with the right foot. Coming into a runner's lunge here. Bringing the left hand to the mat. And then inhale, lifting the right hand to the sky. Breathing here. Finding your strength and your purpose. Taking one last big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, melt that hand all the way down to the mat. Curl those back left toes under. And with your strength and your stability, your certainty and self-confidence, we're going to inhale, coming up onto those toes. Now, of course, remembering you have the option to stay on your knee here, but I always encourage people to at least try to see where you're at today, because just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean today's not the day for amazing things to happen. All right, so when you're here, inhale, lifting tall. You can bring the hands to that front knee for stability just to start, as you make sure those hips are square. You have that micro bend in the back knee. Front knee is over front ankle. Really rooting down to then rise up. Inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Finding that back bend. Breathing. Shoulders relaxed and down the back body.
taking a moment to appreciate your physical body and what it is able to do for you. Appreciate you and all that you offer this world. And appreciate all the unique bits of you that make you a fine-ass bitch. Like, just own it. We're here in a power stance. We're here taking up space. Let's do it. Let's do the work. All while staying connected to that breath, in and out of the nose. Inhaling one last time, pulling in that core and the power. And exhale, bring that hand to that front knee. Drop those hands all the way to the ground. Bend the back knee, bringing it to the earth. Bring that front knee back to the earth also. And once again, melt back and down into your child's pose. So you have the option of this child's pose or extended child's pose, where the knees are brought to be the width of the mat and the toes are just touching underneath your sweet, sweet touch. All right, so whichever floats your boat, just commit and melt into it. Breathing deep. Cultivating your gifts here so you can share them with the world. And on the next inhale, powering up, lifting through the core, with the core, and then coming onto the side, pivoting and bringing the feet in front of you. Flat on the earth. And then from here, we're going to inhale, lift up nice and tall. Extend the arms straight out at shoulder height. And exhale, we're going to slowly begin to lower back. Make it as slow as you can, with all of the self-control that you can muster, all of your core strength, until you make it to the earth. Make sure you're just in the middle of your mat here, and that your middle fingers can just graze the heels of your feet. This will ensure that your knees stay stacked over your ankles. And on an inhale, we're just going to begin to lift the heels off the earth, pressing into the feet and the shoulders and the arms. And exhale, we're going to melt it down. Inhale to lift those hips. Exhale to melt them down with slow and steady control. As you're doing this, you feel it really only in your glutes. Just play around with where your feet are placed. Because really there's a lot of muscle groups working here to support this, and it shouldn't primarily be the experience in the glutes, so it often is. Just because it's not set up properly. All right, inhale up. Again, this time also inviting the arms to come up. Exhale, just the arms come down. Inhale to swim those hands forward. And exhale to lower the hips. 2 more times. Inhale to lift the hands to the sky and the hips towards the sky. Exhale, just the hands come down to the earth, spread up above the head. Inhale to slide those hands forward, and exhale to melt the hips down. 1 more time. Inhale, the hips and the hands go up. Exhale, just the hands continue the journey. Inhale to slide those hands up to their starting position. And exhale, the hips come down too. Now inhale, this time just the hips come up. This is our last ditty. And then rolling the shoulders under if that feels right for you today.
grasping or clasping the hands together and using them to also press them into the earth. So the chest is lifted towards the chin is lifting towards the sky. And breathe. 3 deep breaths in and out of the nose, breathing through the pose, building the muscles, building the heat in the body, building your own appreciation and love for you. Big last deep breath into the nose, and then exhale, release those hands, unroll the shoulders, melt those hips down to the ground. Walk the feet to be the width of the mat, and then we're going to windshield plank them. So we're going to send both knees to one side. Breathe out, inhale to bring them all the way to the other side. Breathing out, inhale to come through. Inhale to go to the other side. Beautiful. This time we're going to inhale, hug the knees into the chest, and just rock side to side, getting a little massage here on the low back. While we're here, we're going to take a hand on each knee, and we're going to just make some circles with the knees. So my knees are going in opposite directions here, and then coming back together in the middle, and then going back out. So each knee is making its own circle in the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, reverse, reverse, go the other way. Then coming back to center here. And then we'll come into happy baby, opening those hips up. So I'll just turn here's the skeleton. Just because you don't want to see this, right? We're going to inhale with the feet up towards the sky. And then you can choose. You can grab the, oh my gosh, the shins or the ankles. Really, I think I would recommend the shins or the ankles or the outside of the feet. Or you can take your peace fingers and wrap them around your toe, right? And so coming into happy baby, feeling that opening in the hips. Can rock side to side. You can kick the legs out. Whatever feels good to you, what feels fun to you, what feels like an exploration of the person that you're striving to be. Oh, that maybe went too far. There we go. And then when you're ready, we're going to extend both legs straight out. And we're going to inhale, we're going to stretch, lifting tall, pointing those toes, reaching up with the fingertips, being as tall as you could possibly be. And then exhale, relax. Inhale, we're going to extend out the tippy toes through the fingertips. And exhale, relax. We'll bring the soles of the feet together to touch, bringing the hand to the belly and the hand to the heart. Allowing the eyes to soften or close. And just beginning to thank yourself for this time, for this practice. Genuinely love and appreciate your body. Taking this time to check in. Is there any more of that nagging self-doubt left?
Is there anything else you're ready to surrender, to melt away? Bringing back the imagery of the rain cloud. Showering you with love to replace all of that doubt, all of those untruths. Breathing in love, letting it make its way into every fiber of your being. Breathing out your self-confidence, your radiant beauty, your sensuous self. Option here to continue in your Shavasana in this way, or extending the legs straight out, bringing the palms to rest on either side of you, facing towards the sky, fully relaxing. Surrendering to the support of the earth so that you can fully receive the benefits of your practice. Beginning to come back to the space around you, wiggling the fingers and toes, making circles with the wrists and the ankles. Getting in any last stretches that would feel good to you now. Anything the body's asking for. How often do we ask the body what it needs? And how would our lives be different if we did? Then when you're ready, gently, compassionately, find a comfortable seated position. Once again, rooting down, feeling the support beneath you. Breathing deep, in and out of the nose. When you're ready, bringing the hands to the heart. Knowing that my wish for you on this day and every day that follows is peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. I really hope you found this, or do find it, to be helpful in your own experiences of self-empowerment and just living a life that includes incorporating sexuality, because I think that's kind of cool too. Because when we tap into our sexuality, we also tap into our creative selves. And I think the best life is a life that's creatively led. So that's all. It's all linked to living your best life, right? It's all about unlocking and unblocking these parts of ourselves. Okay. Well,
Well, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.